Hello and welcome to the channel. This is Cooking with Maryann. Today we are going to be cooking some manicotti with some amazing sausage and cheese. Let's get to it. Now I'm using maple sausage. You can use hot sausage, you can use any kind of sausage that you'd like. I just happen to love to use the maple because it gives a little bit of a sweetness, and that's really what I like and what my family likes. And while we're getting ready for that to heat up, let's cut our onion. We're gonna cut, I'm gonna do probably about a quarter of it. Smells delicious. I'm gonna break up that sausage. The tricky thing about this, if you're doing ground sausage, is to get them up in tiny pieces, tiny enough pieces that you can fill in your manicotti shells. You can do this with jumbo shells, but I have been having a really hard time finding those, and I know this. I've been reading online that a lot of you have been having a hard time finding them too. So you can stuff manicotti with it, the manicotti shells with this as well, or just make a beautiful sauce for fettuccine or anything else of that nature. I think it would work out just fine. All right, so now that this is pretty much all the way cooked, I'm gonna throw in our onion. We're gonna add 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese. Now you can add ricotta to this. A lot of people don't like ricotta, and that's fine. You can also use goat cheese. You can use feta if you like that. Another substitute for ricotta is cottage cheese. But today we're gonna go full fat because we can. You can also use low fat, it doesn't matter. But it actually, you can do whichever you prefer. So I'm just gonna add that to it. Get it to, this is almost like the beginning of a stroganoff, isn't it? Kind of like that, but not the same. Give it some time. Oh my gosh, it smells delicious. Get back in there. Nobody's escaping, guys. Get down. I'm gonna also add now some spinach. Fresh spinach. You can do frozen spinach. Just make sure that's drained really well because you don't want it too watery. We're gonna wilt these leaves. Yeah, they actually wilt down quite a bit, so let's do a little at a time and see where we end up. And if you notice, I didn't drain out the grease because there really wasn't any, and it's just gonna help the rest of this. So there we go. Gonna get that coated in there. Let it do its thing. Now it's working. It has a little bit more to go. Okay, now behind me I have started a pot of water boiling for the noodles. I'm just gonna let this kind of simmer for a little bit. I don't want it to get too dry, but we do need our noodles getting ready here pretty soon. All right, so now that everything is in there, I'm going to go ahead and focus on cooking my noodles and just put this on low and keep it hot. Not too hot because I got to use it later. Alright, now you want to be super, super gentle when you put those in because they can crack very easily. And the last thing you want is to try and fill one of those shells and it just splits down the side. I'd still eat it. Just know if you want it pretty, that's not the way to do it. I did lightly salt this, and when I say lightly, I mean just like a couple pinches. And I'm just going to do a gentle stir. Make sure that they don't stick together. And I'm going to let it do its thing. I'm going to cook them just under, probably al dente, right? So following the directions for your altitude, you can make sure that they're firm enough, make them firm enough that they're not completely mush in your hands when you go to fill them, but you want to make sure that they are done enough that they're not going to be, you know, hard as a rock when you're done with your dish. So our noodles just got finished. Dumped it all out into a strainer and run it under cold water immediately because that stops the cooking process. We don't want them to keep cooking. Besides, it's really, really hot when you try and hold it and fill them at the same time. That's no bueno. We don't want that. So now that they are cooled down, we can begin filling them. All right, now I have here some fresh Parmesan, and I'm gonna add a little bit to our mix. I'd say probably quarter cup. Mix that in there. You could put that in earlier, I just didn't. Alright, oh that smells so good! Alright, so we're gonna open up our marinara. And pour some in the bottom here. We don't want the noodles to stick to the bottom once we bake it. There. Beautiful! Okay, now some people will spoon in the filling by like literal spoon, and that's fine, you can do that, but since I have so much sausage in here and it's likely to break that apart, especially if I'm jamming it in with a spoon, I'm going to pipe it through just a big plastic bag. That smells so good. You guys, you have to try this. It smells delicious. Okay, I'm gonna cut off probably, you know, like that. Perfect little piping bag there. And we'll get to filling. There we go. Nope, a little more. Okay. Yeah, see what I mean when I say they split a little bit? That's it right there. Can't quite see what I'm doing, but there it is. First one down. All right, now because I want to, and only because I want to, I'm gonna add some more Parmesan to the top. Because honestly, who doesn't like cheese? Everybody loves cheese. Tell me I'm wrong. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna top this with some more marinara sauce. Just a little bit over the top. Because remember, they're just a little bit underdone on purpose. But now we're gonna cook them all the way. So we want to make sure that they are actually done, not just pretending to be done. I do need a little more. I have an oven ready to go at 350 degrees. And then we're gonna cook it for about 15 minutes until it's all hot and bubbly. And then we're gonna dig in, because enough is enough. All right, so these are just about ready to go. I'm going to put some mozzarella cheese on the top of it, put it in for a couple more minutes, let it get all bubbly, and then we're gonna eat. All right, back in it goes. All right, our cheese is melted. Let's get it out and get it on the plate. Ooh-de-lolly! Listen to that bubble. Hot tamale. Here we are. Molten lava on a plate. Looks delicious, smells delicious. All right, let's dig in. Oh, this looks so good. It's all mine.